right, so let's just go ahead and get straight into it. All right, so the photos are not bad. It just needed a little cropping or whatever. So very first thing I always do, I like to crop. On the keyboard does that. And then what I'm noticing is they're a little orange, and that you probably didn't want that shadow there. So this is how we'll fix that. I'm gonna go ahead and take my blacks down. I'm gonna adjust my highlights. I'm gonna adjust the contrast, and then I'm gonna take down my exposure just a little bit. Something about right there. All right, from there, I'm gonna come to my shadows and do the same thing. And then from here, I'm gonna start playing around with the colors because they are a little orange. So we just bring a little bit more color back in. There we go. So just off top, that looks way better. So that's a quick little color correct. All right, I'm gonna actually pull that down just a little bit because they looked a little red. All right, so that's how I fix that part. Now from here, I'll put it in the Photoshop and I hit Command E. And we'll get at a sec to render up. But okay, so here's the photo. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna hit W on the keyboard, and then I'm gonna just hit select subject. So this is the quick selection tool. And then I'm gonna just hit select subject. All right, so it got all of them selected. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually, yeah, that's good right there. I'm gonna add in a little bit more of this chair. And then from there, I'm gonna go to select, and I'm gonna go to inverse. So now we have just the background selected. So anything that I'm getting ready to do is only gonna affect the background and not them. All right, so from there, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my, there we go, my layers. And then here all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just make a new layer. And then I'm going to my brush tool. Shortcut for that is B on the keyboard. And then I'm gonna select this right here, just the color, and then just go ahead and start lightly painting over the shadows. And that's essentially what I did for all the photos. Like once I realized what you really was saying was you didn't like how you know the background and how I just hit. That's all. It was just how the lighting was. And this is why it's good to know Photoshop. And this is why I don't really send off my photos to be edited, mainly because it's just like I know most people don't know how to do this or aren't going to do this. Like if they see a photo and they messed up on it, they be like, oh man, we don't really panic. And that's kind of what I try to teach and Randy, you, like, we don't panic because we know how to fix it. So just like that, all I'm doing is just lightly painting over it. As you can see, my opacity and flow is set between 30 and 40. This time it's set at 38%. My flow is at 45%, and I always use a soft brush, so my hardness is always set down to 0, just so I can just see everything and make it blend a little better. So if I turn that off, you can kind of see the before and after, and that's really it. That's really it. So we just soften the shadow, soften the background, got rid of the wrinkles, and we just alter the lighting just a little bit. And then of course we always go in there and smooth the skin just a little bit. So boom, hit OK, and just like that, we're done with that. So I like to do it on another layer. That way we can just see the before and after, and then if I did mess up, I could have just erased over it and it wouldn't affect the original photo. All right, we'll do one more. So we'll do this one. This was the final version of that. Like all I did was just soften the background. So we'll do the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Command E, put that in Photoshop. All right, and then hit W on the keyboard, hit select subject. All right, then go to select, then hit inverse, come over to your layers, make a new layer, hit B on the keyboard, go to your brush tool, hold down Option or Alt, pick the color, and then you just paint over the shadows or paint over anything that you don't like. So in this case, will be the hard shadows and the wrinkles in the background. Not really a right or wrong. You just kind of looking at it as a photographer and blending it out, or seeing it however you see it. To me, I just saw it with a softer background. And again, you don't have to worry about hitting her, because when we selected the subject, it inverted, so it's only going to hit the background, so you don't have to worry about messing up anything. This also helps if you have a clean screen. My screen kind of dirty, so I know I'm hitting certain points over and over again, but it's probably really just because my my dirty screen is not really nothing on there. So just keep that in mind when you editing your photos. Just kind of wipe your screen down before going in depth. All right, I'm gonna probably reselect. I'm gonna hit it one more time. Just notice some areas in the bottom. Again, that probably still might be my screen, but whatever. All right, so that's all you're really doing. And then she did have a few flyaways that I'll go ahead and get rid of. Just using a soft brush and just doing the same thing. So I'm selecting some of the background and I'm painting over her hair. We're painting over the flyaways, or whatever you want to call it. Cloning over the flyaways. Whatever word you want to use to where you understand it. All I'm doing is just copy and paste some of the background and painting over her flyaways, so it's not standing out so much. It looks a little bit more unified. Now, if you wanted to, you could really go in there, tighten it up, and make it look super realistic, but it's one of them type of shoots. All right, and then you could go in there and add hair. Just, you know what I'm saying, whatever. It's important to zoom in and out so that you can kind of see. And if it's hitting too soft, you can just come up here to your hardness tool and just adjust. So it doesn't look so airy. I guess that's the new word I'm gonna use. It doesn't look so airy around the hair, so it looks a little bit more realistic. So really with Photoshop, you really using the same 2-3 tools. You just using it for different, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing I'm doing is really complicated. I'm just using the same 2 tools, but doing everything with the photo with those same few tools. So it's really not hard to get into photography or to, you know what I'm saying, really edit or get into editing photos, period. Like, it's really just software. You don't have to have like a super degree or years of photography experience. Like, don't get me wrong, it helps, but if we just looking at it on paper, like, it's really just a software game. If you understand the software, you really don't have to know the ins and outs of you know what I'm saying, photography, for real. So hopefully that helped. I give you one more just cause. So there it is. Hit Command E, do one more, then I think that'd be pretty good. But the more I realized I was talking through this, I was gonna send it to just the person who had me edit this, but I'm probably gonna upload it right to YouTube just because I was kicking some game. So but either way, dope session. I see Photoshop moving kind of slow now. Or maybe it just froze, one of the two. Now we straight. All right, so same thing, W on the keyboard, hit select subject. All right, then come to select, then inverse. All right, come over here, make your new layer. Then go to your brush tool. Again, shortcut for that is B. And then just go ahead and start painting over the shadows or anything you just don't want. Just lighten it up. I'm gonna start on this side actually. Blend it out, it's gonna be a little faster. We'll hit this line up here. All right. The floor wasn't too bad, but you see, you don't want to do. You want to make sure you match up those colors pretty nice so that like it blends out, because you don't want it to look like it was Photoshop. Because once you see it's Photoshop, like, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. All right, get this top corner. All right, so turn this layer on and off. That way you can just kind of see. I'm gonna hit this part one more time. Actually, a little bit too bright. And then hit Command D to deselect everything. Toggle the layer on and off. And then again, if you wanted to, you can go back in and tighten up our hair one more time. So you're gonna use your clone stamp tool, select the area close by, and then just start photoshopping the hair out. Alright, missed that part right there, but it's cool. We'll hit Command Z, do that part over again. Alright, hit Z on the keyboard, back to fit screen, then that will be done. So hopefully that helped. And how you start the video.